First of all, I'd like to thank the First Nations for introducing us today and letting us be here, playing their music and blessing this. I'd like to try to address a few things, and thank you for coming. So today I'm going to talk about something that's local here, the Calgary Herald, and honor the treaties. I would like to thank the editor of the Calgary Herald for bringing to my attention that the message of this tour is not being clearly heard by everyone. Honor the Treaties is not an anti-tar sands crusade, as the Herald claims. Its purpose is to bring light to the fact that the treaties with First Nations peoples are not being honored by Canada. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the Calgary Herald and cancer. The editor of the Calgary Herald quoted a 2010 study by the Royal Society of Canada expert panel that concluded there is currently no credible evidence of environmental containment exposures from oil sands reaching Fort Chip at levels expected to cause elevated cancer rates. But people are dying. The fact is that cancer among First Nations people is scientifically proven to be associated with tar sands extraction, and disease has increased by 30%. This is now proven to be true, and the old claims the Calgary Herald referred to yesterday are out of date and not relevant. People are dying. CBC reports yesterday. A new study just released yesterday suggests chemicals from 50 years of oil sands production are showing up in increasing amounts in lakes in northern Alberta. And the effects are being felt much farther away than previously thought. The joint study between scientists at Queen's University in Kingston and Environment Canada looked at core samples from 6 lakes within 90 clicks of the oil sands. The authors focused on cancer-causing chemicals that are released when things are burned. They can occur naturally from volcanoes, forest fires, but burning petroleum in oil sands production leaves a unique fingerprint. So the scientists were able to trace the source, the Alberta tar sands development. 280 clicks north of Fort McMurray, downstream from oil sands operations, the Alberta Cancer Board found elevated rates of rare malignancies. That available information was not published in the Calgary Herald yesterday. Our tour across Canada is to bring awareness that the First Nations treaties must be honored if the oil sands expansion is to take place. The workforce. Arguments that First Nations people are benefiting from tar sands development, working and getting high wages that they couldn't possibly get anywhere else is not a reason to break the treaties. Of course they're taking these jobs. What else are they supposed to do when the land they lived on for centuries is dying? This is not a gift. I respect all workers. It is unfortunate that the tar sands workers who toil long hours to feed their families are digging a hole that our grandchildren are going to have to spend their lives digging out of. It is also a grave worry that tar sands workers from Canada, as well as thousands of temporary foreign workers, may not have health plans provided by their employers to cover related diseases that could be imminent in their future, threatening the latter parts of their lives after their work is done. Where will the oil companies be then? That is a question for those families to consider. Again, I respect all workers. While this part of the tour ends tonight in Calgary, the movement and the efforts of Honor the Treaties will continue until the treaties are honored. Canadian leadership. I am a proud Canadian. I just renewed my passport in Winnipeg a few days ago. Canada is a great, great country. I love Canada. Canada used to be a world leader, not a follower. Canada can lead the world again by developing clean energy industries. New jobs can be created in Canada by leading the world in biomass and other renewable clean fuel technologies, just as Canada led with acid rain solutions and ozone depletion solutions in the recent past. Future fuels and electric power will combine to replace fossil fuel as the dominant source of transportation energy in our lifetime. Pioneering future energy companies are already starting up in Canada, and we wish them all great success. I get letters from them all the time. Young people full of visions of a future without the CO2 spewing fuels. We have matched and multiplied the money we have raised from Canadians supporting Honor the Treaties. There's an elephant in the room here. I'd like to at least recognize the elephant for a minute. It's not the one that's on TV. Makes you feel like you can't breathe. But it has a lot of the same characteristics. The CO2 spewing fossil fuel age is exhaling its first death gasps. Scientists worldwide agree that CO2 is one of the leading causes of climate change, the issue of the 21st century. Just recently, the Saddle Dome was underwater up to the 10th row of seats, something no living resident could remember happening before. That's climate change, the beginning. Talk about 4 strong winds and 7 seas rising. Mother Nature is nothing to screw around with. If the hole in Alberta's boreal forests gets bigger, causing CO2 levels to continue their climb, what is happening to the First Nations people now will inevitably happen to all of us. Climate change is real. The fossil fuel age is ending. We must survive the damage already done by CO2 abuse, not create more damage. I am looking forward, trying to protect the earth and preserve it for my grandchildren. That's very important to me. That's why I came here in the first place, to see the oil sands and see what was happening in Fort Mac. The treaties may now protect more than just the First Nations. They may protect the planet. That's why we have our environmental friends coming along with us now. The treaties must be honored. A friend asked me to ask you this. If the government is lying to the First Nations people and not honoring the treaties, could they be lying to you? The second leg of the Honor the Treaties tour begins tomorrow. Our tour across Canada has been a great success. We have raised awareness on the subject of the broken treaties. Now Canada must respond in the courts. We have succeeded beyond our wildest dreams in raising money for legal defense of the First Nations. Global environmental forces are joining us now with financial resources, and it's all because of the Canadian people's awesome response to our call for justice. On behalf of Honor the Treaties, thank you, Canada.